Hey everybody, how is it going? We are live right now on the channel. Good to see everybody. Rogue TS1 already here, ready to go. I appreciate that. We are just getting ourselves situated here, making sure we're all, good. See if we can get this to sit the way I want. If you can hear me, make sure you drop that in the chat on there on the side. Make sure you guys are hearing me. I want to make sure I'm not just talking to myself like a crazy man. But I think we are okay. Give it a couple minutes here. We're going to let some people join in. Luckily for us, it's still really bright out. Because I think the last time I did a live stream, it was like really dark. And so it was really kind of hard to see, and you had like garage lights and all sorts of good stuff. So, but anyway, like I said, we're going to let some people join here. Gonna get some stuff set up. A lot of good things to talk about today. Hanging out a little bit, and we have some cool stuff to announce, which I'm super excited to talk to you guys about. Again, I want to make sure everyone can hear me. But anyway, so lots of good things to talk about today. We've got, all sorts of stuff to cover. New projects, which is going to be exciting. New stuff, new secured projects, not just the prospects of projects. So those are secured for us as well. So I'm going to be talking about a new project that's going to be upcoming after we finish Elsa the bus here. We're making pretty good progress on that. So we're going to talk about that. We've also got some good new announcements for the channel as we continue to grow to the big 2,000. We're over the 2,000 mark, so thank you guys so much for subscribing. I really do appreciate that. As we continue to grow and bring all the content to you guys here on the channel, I really do appreciate it. Everyone supporting what we do here. Like I said, we're going to give it a couple more minutes. We're going to let some people join in here. We've only been live for 2.5 minutes, so we're going to give some people a little bit of time. I feel like I'm on like a work call. We have to give that 5-minute grace period to, hey Nick, how you doing? To let everybody kind of join in so we can start talking about stuff. But again, we got new project announcements. That's going to be super exciting. And we've also got some kind of product stuff. I don't really want to spill the beans too much. We're going to talk about stuff like that. We've also got, there's something else. There is one other thing. I promise I'll remember as we go through this what the other thing is. Off the top of my head, I don't remember. But still working on the bus. Rogue, am I going to assist Eldest Builds on the modified hill climb X19? Is that what he's doing with it? So I've seen he's got, I think it's an 84. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is it an 84 X19? It's like white and black. Super clean. And so he got the tip for Matt over at Vix, who works with us, and he works with Jesse as well. And I was really mad at Matt. So if Matt joins in this chat here in a little bit, I'm going to be mad at him. He knows I'm mad at him, because he gave Jesse the lead on the X19, and I've wanted an X19 for a really, really long time. But to answer your question, am I going to assist Jesse? Yes. If Jesse wants or needs some assistance, he's actually only like an hour from me, hour and a half-ish, if there's traffic. And I can head up there and help him out over a weekend. I mean, hopefully you guys saw that video where he came over and did the transmission swap. He just drove in every day to help out and finish that project up from his house. So it only took him about an hour to get here from his place, but I will definitely help him. I'm still mad at Matt for giving him the lead on that, not me. But it is what it is. It's his car now, and that's a heck of a good car. And as he's been tearing through it, and then of course you got all those new performance parts that Vix carries, those coilovers. You got like the upgraded brake kit. He also got worked on the trunk, a little bit of that rust area that he had in the trunk and stuff like that. He's been doing some great job on that, and I know he's still working on that 1940s pickup truck. So lots of good stuff over at Jesse's place as well. But of course, if he does need help with that, with his X19, I will be there in a heartbeat, because a lot of the parts with the 124 and the X19 actually cross in some aspects, not all of them, but a lot of things, the brake parts, and I think even the rotors are the same size, and a couple other things I don't know offhand, but there's a lot of similarities. Keep pestering him to do so, yeah. I'll keep bugging him. When he was here doing the automatic swap with me, I brought it up to him. I was like, hey, if you need help with your X19, like, let me know. And I was actually really disappointed he didn't drive it over here at least one day, because I know it's roadworthy and it drives just fine. And I gave him a hard time for that. I said, why don't you bring the X? That'd be really cool to put in the video. He's like, well, it's not really registered yet, and I have to deal with all that stuff. And I think he even made a post about it. Dealing with Texas registration and getting your car road legal is an absolute fiasco, and it's not easy by any means. So, it just took a little bit of time. So I think he's got it registered now, but he's getting there. What else? What else is going on in y'all's world? What have you guys been liking? What have you guys been wanting to see? Some stuff like that. I know we just hit that big 2,000 mark. So again, thank you guys for making that happen. Looking for some feedback. I know as we're growing here, there's some things that people want to see and some stuff that people don't really care to see. And the content's changed a little bit from where we were doing all the kind of more instructional side. For the 124 for the engine building and working the interior and how to replace things. We just did that video for the fuel sending unit as well. That fuel sending unit replacement is a really common question, especially on the Facebook groups. If you guys are part of those, the Facebook Fiat groups, is how do I replace that? My gauge isn't working. What is it? And 9 times out of 10, it's that sending unit. So that's why I just made that quick little video for that. Sad to see the 124. Yes. I mean, it's still here. It is still, as you can see by the sign on it, it is still for sale. I've gotten some interest on it. A few of the subscribers have reached out asking if it's still available. They want to come take a look at it. This is where I'm at. I'm not quite there. I'm not in your city. When that all kind of, doesn't always pan out, but that's okay. At least we're getting some interest. And yeah, I still got it. Still take it out. I mean, it's a great car. It fires right up. I still have that cold start injector unplugged. I'm kind of paranoid from our incident where it flooded it, and yeah, it was not good. That's where we had to rebuild the engine all over again. So I'm not in a huge rush to replace that, but it's it's still available. It is kind of sad to see it go, but it's ready to. That spot is ready for something else. And again, that's what we're going to be talking about here in a few minutes. We'll give it 2-3 more minutes. We'll hit that 10-minute mark. And we'll start talking about some of the good stuff coming on in the channel and what's going to happen here. But yeah, just the spot that it's taking, and I can drive it and it's comfortable. It starts up, no issues, and it's great. But I think it's ready for someone else to enjoy that. And all the history of the car is documented. All the work is done is documented. So it's when you see some cars on Marketplace, for example, you say, "Oh yeah, completely rebuilt." But is it? Or is it just one of those spray paint kind of things? And yeah, it looks like it's rebuilt, but is it? Who knows? So, but this one is actually proven to be rebuilt, and all the great parts that are on it, all those big Autosports parts, just working fantastic in this car, and it's just ready for someone else to enjoy. I did have someone reach out to me from Corpus Christi, so it's about 3 hours south of Houston. And this guy that wants it says, like, hey, I'm out of town for work, but I'm going to want to be there in 2 weeks. I want to take a look at it if you still have it. Like, sure, no problem, if I've still got it. And so he says, I want to make it my daily. Okay. I mean, it's at that point, it's your car. You do whatever you want. But I'd rather have AC on a daily car, especially living further south. So anyway, that's a little bit of action going on with the 124, but it is still available. I still have it listed on Facebook. You saw my 850 on Facebook Marketplace. Yes. Oh, you daily yours? That's cool. More power to you. I would have to have AC. I don't know, maybe in the fall, early spring, I could do it. Maybe a little bit of those more mild winter days I could do it, but not in the summer like this. I mean, it's 90 degrees and it's 6 o'clock, so I couldn't do it. I'd be sweating too much. But my 850, yes. So the 850, the car that started the channel, is on Facebook. So I did sell that car, 2 years ago, 2.5, 2. I think 2 years ago, I sold that car after we redid it. That was the car that started the channel. That's what brought everything up and got us started. And I didn't know what I was getting really into with the 850. I'd done a 124 before, but the 850 is just a whole other monster on its own. And there was no information on it, none whatsoever. And so that's what I was like, well, if I'm going to restore this car, I'll just document it and put it out there for anybody else that needs the information. So that's what kind of got the channel started. But yeah, that 850 is available on Marketplace. So the guy, I think, has it listed for $16,000. 16. And the description doesn't say anything, really. I looked at it, and it is definitely my car. The seats are still torn in the same spot. And the license plate that was on it when I sold it is still on it. So I guarantee the guy hasn't registered the car since he bought it. Now, I don't know if he's the person that bought it from me back then or it's been sold twice over or what. But yeah, so that 850 is on Marketplace for $16,000. And again, that's a car with all the engine rebuilt. And I think the post I saw last about it said the transmission was rebuilt. But obviously something got lost in translation because that transmission was not rebuilt, just the engine. But that car is available too. It's not my listing. I did not sell it for $16,000. So he's definitely got it marked up way more than what I had sold it for initially. But yeah, the 850 is on Marketplace, and it's been on Marketplace, I think, for the past 8 months. I see it pop up on my feed once in a while. So anyway, let me grab my drink here. Got some water because it is hot as heck, but we're going to get started here. So we're going to get started. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. Those of you that are just joining us now, we had a little pre-stream chat here for the first 10, 11 minutes or so as we let people kind of join in here. So big announcements on the channel. So a couple things is merchandise-wise. We are coming down to the very end of the merchandise. So the drink sleeves, I still have a few of these left. I've got like a box of these. And then the t-shirts, I'm down to the last few as well. These, the original black with the logo being white. These, I'm down to the last couple of these. Now, what I'd like to do is, since we are near the end of that, just do kind of a blowout. So if you would like one, you know, the shirt's going to be $10. Get rid of those, clear those out, get them off the shelf. And these, I'll sell these for $2 a piece. Get them out of here. But for those of you that are here in the live stream right now, I'm going to be giving some of these away. So don't go anywhere. I will be giving some of the koozies and some of the shirts away as we are in the stream. So make sure you guys are stay tuned. We're going to give those away at the end and a couple other things. So on the same note of merchandise is we are actually opening a new online shop. So some people have asked for different designs, for hats, for beanies, for cups, for all sorts of stuff. And so in the description of this live stream, I have a link to my shop, my website for shirts and hats and cups and mugs and tote bags and all sorts of good stuff. So the link down below will take you straight to the shop. The shop should be active and live. We have 2 logos currently available. We'll be adding new designs. We'll be adding all sorts of cool new stuff. The red and gray logo like this one is one of them. And then the plain white, all white logo like this one is the other. That's just to get us started. There's, I think, over 70 different kinds of things with a logo on them. So make sure you guys check those out. Fiat parts, possible. So the shop is down in the link below for all the new stuff. So make sure you guys check that out. That is live now. I spent some time making that. And again, we will be making new designs periodically and we'll be announcing those. We'll be adding, maybe we'll get the 124 on a shirt. Maybe we'll get the 850 on a shirt. Maybe we'll get the bus on a shirt, you know, stuff like that. And so as new designs come out, I'll post those and they'll be live on the shop when I make the posts and stuff like that. So make sure you guys check that out in the link down below for the website for all the merchandise. So couple other things is a new project. Now this is where people get design ideas. Great, glad you like them. So make sure you guys check that out. I'll be adding some more as we go along and come up with designs and all sorts of cool stuff like that. So make sure you check out the shop. But new project. This is something that people really want to know what's going on. Like, hey, what's next? What's after the bus? Because when we had the 124, we announced the bus as we were getting closer to finishing the 850. And so now that we're getting closer to finishing the bus, for the bus, there's just the interior is what we're working on the most. So here recently, I just got done doing the carpet on the inside and that vinyl flooring, and I did some carpeting as well. So the next thing is going to be the wall panels and the ceiling. So the ceiling is going to be the next big thing, and then we're going to move down to the walls and hopefully mold it all together in one nice big, decent looking interior. And then we have to put the bench bed thing and maybe some cabinets and stuff like that. But other than that, the bus is really as far as we're going to take it. We've done a lot of suspension, and the Subaru engine works great. It's just like a modern car. Turn the key, fires right up. It's fantastic. I absolutely love it. And the power delivery is great. So we're getting closer to finishing up on the bus with all the interior, and that's going to kind of go boom, 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 boom. So good job on the flooring. Thank you so much, Rogue. I appreciate that on the flooring there. That took some time and patience, to say the least, to make sure it's all measured to the angles correctly. Not perfect, but it's pretty close. But so the bus is getting close. So Elsa, the bus, is really close. And all the interior stuff's going to come really quick, one after the other. So we've got the carpet. Then we're going to work on the roof, which is what I'm going to start working on this weekend. So this upcoming video is going to be the carpeting, and then it'll be the roof, and it'll be the door panels after that. And then I think we're going to do some sort of wallpaper type stuff on the inside to not have to paint it, because I don't want to paint the inside of the posts and around the windows and stuff like that, because the white that I would use wouldn't match the outside and it looked kind of goofy. So if we use some sort of like textured wallpaper kind of thing and tuck it, and we still have to install the windows, and we're ordering the window and door gaskets, like the entire gasket kit for the whole car. We're ordering that in the next couple of days, so that'll get shipped over, and then we'll start putting all the gaskets on. And before you know it, within like the next 3 to 4 weeks, the bus could be on the road every day if we really wanted to, which is really awesome to think about, considering it's been sitting here in the garage next to the 124 while we built that. So I've had this bus for a year and a half, maybe 2 years almost. And so I'm really glad that this actually gets to like move around and do stuff. A wrap material? Oh, that's a good idea. I look at something like for a wrap. So it's a little bit stronger, I guess, with the adhesive they use. So with the sale of the 124, that's going to be opening a new spot in the garage. That's the unfortunate thing about having just a 2.5-car garage and trying to build all these cars, is we're just going to run out of space. So like I said, the 124 is still available. It's still listed on Marketplace, and I think I have it in some of the Facebook groups as well. It's on a few other places. Thought about putting it on eBay. I don't know. I just want people to actually like follow through if they buy it. But that is still available. So I already have the project lined up to replace it. I have secured it. It is mine. My name is on it. It's not going anywhere. Does anyone want to take a guess on what the next project is? Because I don't want to spoil it here. If you guys got an idea, I want to hear from you what you think the next project should be, what you think it is, or what should it be, and when I announced it, if it should have been something else. But I will say, I will give you a hint. It is in the European family. So it's not American. It's not a Chevy or a Ford or an Oldsmobile or any of those. But it can be something European, not from here, across the pond. So I want to hear what you guys think it is. A Porsche 914 hill climb car? You must think I make a lot of money off these things, because I definitely don't have enough to afford that. Aston Martin, holy moly, you really think I make too much money off these cars. Let me tell you, folks, YouTube does not make you rich. It's more of like, hey, you paid for a tank of gas once every other month. An Alpha Spider, that's a good guess. I have a friend in Nick is his name in California. He's got an Alpha Spider, and I had to go over there for work one time, and he was having a really hard time getting it to work right. Well, his throttle position sensor was unplugged. So it's the same one that the 124 uses on the fuel injected, and it was unplugged. As soon as we plugged it in, ran great. So make sure your connections are tight and make sure they're plugged in. That's the tip of the day. So, all right, got a couple guesses in with these Astons and Porsches, and you guys are nuts. But we are getting a 1987 Bertoni X19. So the next car that's coming in is going to be an X19. It's an 87, and I'm not copying Jesse. Just putting that out there. Just because Bugatti, yeah, right. So I'm not copying Jesse. I wanted an X before Jesse did, and Jesse just got his hands on one before I could. So he's also got like more space. He's out in like the country. I'm in the city. I got a driveway. I can't. HOA is what I'm saying. HOA just does not like cars under car covers. They assume they don't run, which in my case, it may run. But anyway, that's not the point. So we're getting an 87 X19. It's a Bertoni, so it's not the one that Fiat made. It's the one that Bertoni carried on. And I really like the little bit later ones. One, because they've got the 5-speed, and they've got a little bit deeper floor pans. So the tall person like me, who's 6.5 feet tall, really has a hard time fitting in an X19. But I did drive an X19 a couple years ago, and there's a video on that, like a Fiat car meeting an X19, and that was my friend Kevin's X19. It was red, and I think it was an 84 or an 85, but that was a Bertoni as well. I don't think it was the Fiat one. And since it was deeper floor pans, I could actually fit more comfortably in the X19 than I could the 124. When I drive the 124, my knees are up at the window thing, and I can't have the armrest because it's just my legs. We're not friends. So we are getting an X19, and it is a true barn X19. I'm going to show you some pictures on the phone, the old cellular device here, of the pictures I've gotten. So I've not seen this car in person. I got 4 pictures. Sorry, 5. 5 pictures. So 5 pictures. I'm going to show you guys these pictures. This is what it looks like. I don't know if I should even show you. Shipping container in my driveway. Have you lost your mind? I look forward to your picture on the hill climb car. Yeah, so it is an X19 just like Jesse's, but I think mine's going to be better. So I'm going to show you a picture. I don't know if I even should. Okay, I'll look for it on Facebook. So it is covered in awful dust and like cat paw prints, and it is a true barn find X19. So this is what it looks like. Hopefully there. So it's blue and covered in dust. It does have the stock wheels, which is nice. And here is, it's missing the engine lid, which is a little concerning that the engine may be a little locked up, which is not what I want. But the good news is the interior is like mint. It's just dusty. It needs to be wiped down. And there's like no cracks in the dash. There might be like one. And it's like right by the vent there. That's like the one crack in it. And I think it's a factory AC car too. Some mouse traps. Yeah, I'll throw some mouse traps in there. Yeah, barn finds are the best because they're unused and like not unused, but I think this one's got like 70,000 miles, 69,000 miles. So it's not driven much. So I'll give you a little bit of the story of this because you guys are here on the live with me. Here's what some of the seats are. They're like a burgundy seat. I don't know if those were factory or not, but they're not eaten up and they're not all foam everywhere. And anyway, then I got the 5th picture. Now the 5th picture kind of tells me the whole story. It comes with the 2nd engine. So that tells me there's something really wrong with the first one, or he just really needs the space and he's selling me the other engine with it. So the story on this car, yes, you need to go out and buy one. These are getting harder and harder to find, especially like that where it's in a shed type thing covered in dust. Anyway, the story on this car is that it has one owner, 2 owners. It's one owner. It's the original owner, I believe, original owner. And the guy had 2. So he had 2 X19s. He had a brown one and he had this one. Well, he was taking the brown one out to go somewhere, and he was leaving his neighborhood and he got T-boned in the brown one, wrecked it completely. And so he got in a really bad accident and it left him kind of damaged to where he couldn't drive the car. And to this day, he still cannot drive at all, period. Automatic or standard, he can't drive any car. So this X19, this blue one, was sitting in like a garage type thing that wasn't sealed very well. So a lot of moisture like got onto the ground. And so that's why the engine supposedly locked up, like the rings were stuck to the wall of the cylinders. So that's why it's probably got the 2nd engine. But anyway, that 2nd engine is actually out of the brown car that it survived, and it's a good running engine, and the one that's in the blue car is locked up. So whether it's that the rings are stuck or a valve is all corroded and can't close all the way and it's hit the valve, I don't know what the story is. So the blue car's engine will have to come out. So the brown one was scrapped. The engine was saved. And so that separate engine that I just showed you will go into the blue one, and the one that's in the blue one will come out. And so there's going to be a lot of content on the X19. I've seen a couple people on YouTube have X19 stuff that are like building them, but their consistency is really spotty, so they're not really doing it super consistent, I guess is just the way to say it. And so if I'm able to do the same pattern that I am with the X19, like I've been doing with the 124 and the bus, trying to have a video every Friday about what's going on. So that project is coming once we wrap up the bus. So there's only, like I said, a few more episodes of the bus, which didn't get as much traction as I thought, because the bus is like such a common thing that people really identify with, I guess. So it hasn't been as popular, but Mon's pop-up headlight works great and saves a load of weight and running. I'll have to look into one of this. I've only sat in one X19, the one that I drove. I've seen like 2 or 3 in person at Freakout past year, because Freakout's going on right now in New Hampshire. And so I've only seen a couple and sat in the one. So my experience with X19s is practically none. So it's going to be a learning experience for both of us. Luckily, Jesse's kind of already ahead of me. And so I get to kind of cheat and see what he's working on and what it looks like. But the best part is we get to go back to work with Matt and the team at VIX for all of our parts, which is going to be fantastic. And we know they work really well because our 124 is still running strong. So that's going to be super exciting. And I look forward to making that handle better and be more appealing. And I'm really excited to see what it looks like once we wash it and rinse off all that barn dust and really make it come together and shine. I think there is like a black decal stick-on thing on the bottom, and so I want to make sure we don't tear that off, but I would love to wash it, kind of buff it and see what we're working with. It's not fun to work on a dirty car. I'm sure many of you have experience with that, and it's a mess. So I'm really excited for that. And that is going to be coming to the channel really, really soon. Just got to go pick it up, because it's about 3.5 hours from here. 3.5. But I will say I'm not so mad at Matt anymore, because he did give Jesse the X19 lead, which I'm still salty about. Okay. But he did give me the lead for this blue one. So I said, hey, that's not fair. I want one too. I've been wanting one longer than he has. And he said, okay, I'll see, ask around. And this is how the blue one came to be in my possession now. It is officially mine. I own it. So that will be coming down here in the next few weeks, again, when we wrap up this. So, super excited for that. Spam track. What is the black box that is clicking in my 79 that's connected to the relay assembly under the glove box? It's clicking like mad. Small enough stuff in the bus. I could. The bus is small enough you can almost get like a motorcycle in there. Like if I got the Sportster in the bus, that'd be kind of interesting. Clicking to the relay under the glove box. Well, the tray under your glove box is going to have all of your relays. So there's a few of them that could be clicking. I think your horn relay is under there. I think your there's also the chime is under there. The chime is really annoying. So if you have your door open and you're hearing the clicking, and the bell could be broken. There's a few things. What you'll have to do is there's like 2 Phillips screws that hold up that tray under the glove box on the very front. If you look just right underneath it, there's 2 screws. Remove the 2 screws. It'll hang down, and then whatever's clicking, feel around, and you'll feel the relay click. And then you'll know what it is. And look at the wiring, look at your wiring diagram, and see what colored wires are going to that relay. It'll tell you what that relay is. In the manual, there's actually a picture of that tray, and it points out what each relay is. So just pull it down, feel which one is actually like clicking when you're touching it. And the manual will tell you which relay to look at for that. Anyway, again, for those of you that are just joining in, we're actually about halfway through already. It's been 30 minutes on the stream already, which is crazy. Grab some more of this here. I feel like I'm talking a whole bunch. I guess because I really am. But for those of you still joining the chat that just showed up, the 124 is still for sale. Got that one listed on Marketplace. Our old merchandise, the drink sleeves and the shirts here, we'll be giving a couple of those away. And the new shop is open. Again, I want to really emphasize that we have our new shop for all the merchandise. It's in the link down below for you guys to check that out. So if you are so inclined to help support the channel and help us get some parts with the proceeds from that and really help us grow, the link is down below to get yourself a shirt or a hat or a coffee mug or a bag or a hoodie to wear around the house, you know, stuff like that. That's all on the shop there down in the description down below. I think I can actually share my screen, which would be cool. And we can actually kind of like go through it. Maybe not. Maybe. No. That's not it. I'm looking for the button. There's like a share screen button. Maybe not. Oh, that's not it. All right. Well, I thought I could share my screen. I swear there used to be a way, but maybe it's this. So anyway, I want to hear from you guys. You know, again, I do really appreciate all the support as we've gotten here to the 2,000 subscriber mark. You know, when I first started the channel, I told myself I'd be really excited for 100 subscribers. And we got to that mark, and I was like, wow, I really look forward to getting to 1,000. 1,000 subscribers would be fantastic. And we hit that mark. So, man, 1,500 would be great. And we hit that 1,500, and now here we are at 2,000. So thank you so much for all of you that have subscribed to the channel and supported me by watching the videos, getting the merchandise, and helping us get stuff to get parts for these cars. Because I'm sure all of you know, maintaining these cars is not cheap by any means. So I really, really do appreciate it with all of you guys supporting what I do. And it was something I was just going to do on a freak thing, and here we are, you know, trudging over the 2,000. I think we're at 2011 or 2012. In just a couple days, we just hit 2,000. So again, really, really surprised and super grateful. And all of you that are here hanging out, you know, really appreciate that too. And keeping us going. I'm trying to find the share button thing. Now I remember. Now I remember there's one other thing. Couldn't wrap my brain around it. I swear I have the brain of like an 80-year-old because I can't remember anything. But ask me like something on the 124, and I'll be like, oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, anything else, I can't manage it. My memory is just not working for me. So I said at the beginning there is one more thing that I wanted to announce besides the new merchandise website, which is available in the link down below. And then we also have the new project. So that 87 X19 is coming, the blue one. I'm very excited for that. So all of you got that sneak peek. So all the people that did not come to the live stream are kind of missing out. But we have a new way to get you guys engaged some more with what's going on here at the garage, to get some behind the scenes action, some off videos. So I just did that fuel sending unit video just a couple days ago, and not typically on a Friday. But we do have again a new way for you guys to engage and get a little bit deeper look into what goes on here. So we have a new level of membership. So these are memberships for the channel. There's 3 different levels, and it kind of gets you engaged closer with what's going on as we're continuing to grow, and things like that. So there's 3 different levels to memberships, and so they make you like come up with some funky names or some creative names for these different levels. And so I have 3 tiers, and all 3 tiers are just whatever you guys would like. If you guys want to be part of it, be engaged with it. John, you do need to get work on it. A 72. I'm getting distracted. Sorry, guys. I want to make sure I'm replying to everybody here. A 7124. So the first gen, the body style, where like the lights are way lower and the chrome bumpers, those are way more desirable. So make sure you do that. John, thank you so much for the comments. I really do appreciate the support. Cool cars, absolutely, JC. So that's why I really like the X19. I really enjoyed driving it, so that's why I really want to get into that. Who knew following glued to your bumper on the Freak Out Texas rally would have helped you so much? Hey, I mean, every little bit, right? Everything adds up. So, okay, so the 3 levels of membership. Back on focus, I told you, 80-year-old brain all over the place. So we've got 3 levels. So we have 1,500 RPMs, 2,500 RPMs, and 3,500 RPMs. There's 3 different levels to become members of the channel, and each of them give you different perks and benefits. And as you increase in level, you get more exclusive things. So the first level is the 1,500 RPM. You get different loyalty badges and certain emojis when we do these live streams and stuff like that. We'll do more of these. I think it's pretty great to be able to engage with you guys one-on-one. But you also get like priority reply to comments. So if you comment on the videos, you're the first one that gets a response, especially with photo and status updates as well. So I'll post on the community page kind of for everybody who comes across the channel. But if you're a member, you would get extra on top of that besides the behind the scenes pictures and early look at some of the projects or early look at what the coming up video is going to be. So that's part of that. And connecting on social media. So as far as like direct messaging and things like that, you get priority access to that. So that's the first level, which I think is quite a lot for the value. It's only $2.99 monthly, and that recurs every month. And then there's the 2,500 RPM level. So it gets up a little bit. So you get everything from the 1,500 and you go into the next one. So you're going to get early access to videos. So we normally post at 6 o'clock on Fridays. That's normally when our videos come out. We will be posting, the videos are normally uploaded a little bit sooner than that. So you guys would actually get the 24-hour advance look at the videos. So that's a really great perk. So getting more up to date with what's going on sooner. You also get exclusive shout outs for stuff that maybe you sent me something or you sent me a really cool picture or stuff like that. You get special shout outs for that. And again, you get those photo and status updates and you get the social media connection, but you also get discounts on the merchandise. So we just announced that shop, again, down in the description is the link to the shop. You get discounts on that, certain level of discounts. Sometimes the shop will run a promotion. So right now we have 15% off of everything on the shop. And because we just opened it, so we're having a 15% off of everything sale. But you'll get an additional discount on top of that for the merchandise. And then the third level, which is the highest one you can get, that's 3,500 RPMs. You get everything that we just talked about, plus you get exclusive member-only videos. So I'll be making videos for just the people that are members of the channel, if you're at that level, and member-only live streams. So we'll do live streams like these where it'll be just the members and myself, and it may just be a random night where we decide to be working on something on the X19, for example. And I'll be like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to turn on a live stream and work on rebuilding. I don't know. Let's say we're rebuilding, I don't know, the distributor. Let's just, for example, we're going to rebuild a distributor. It's here on the bench. Let me just turn on a live stream for members only. And you guys can come out and hang out as I'm working on the bench, working on stuff like that. Or if we are in the middle of recording videos and it's one of those like time-lapse sequence of like rebuilding the engine or working on the interior, or like a Q&A session where you're working on your car and you want to be able to reach out and just do a live stream of walking through it, stuff like that. That is on that final level of 3,500 RPM membership level. So those are the 3 things. Big huge announcements for this live stream is the new merchandise website is up and running. We also have the X19 coming, the new project car, and we have the memberships going live as well. So you guys can sign up for those and get all those awesome perks to the channel for when we do live streams and behind the scenes and exclusive videos and photos and updates and interactions and all sorts of good stuff. So if that is something that is you are interested in, those are going to be live for you as well to sign up for after the stream is when they'll go live. So building wide body arches, I think I could do it with like some sort of mold if I use like a plexiglass mold and kind of like melted the mold to be right. But I'd have to do it for both sides and they have to be even. I have to do them out of fiberglass, I think is how you'd have to do it, is to make them like light enough. But then all the sanding of fiberglass just does not sound exciting at all. But hey, it's something to look into. I'm not really, I don't know. I say this now because I don't have the car yet. I'm kind of like, you know what? I'm cool with stock. Just that's how it came. Maybe different wheels and make sure the air conditioning works, and we just roll with that. Or I'll get the car, drive it around stock, and realize, yeah, I want some street cam in this, a little bit of pep. I want some more. Well, I don't know, because I know I'm going to want the coilovers, like the ones that Jesse got for his X1. Then, I don't know. The body on this thing is so clean. It is so straight. And according to the person that's my contact for this, that there's no rust on it. Underneath, there's no rust. The floor pans are solid. So I'm kind of like, I don't know if I want to put wide arches on the body that's not messed up. Now, the 124, the paint needs to be fixed on it. And I know that. And you guys have seen that in the videos. But that would be something that I'd be like, well, it already needs a paint job. So if I sand off the paint and add these wide body, yeah, you could do that. But this X, I think, has a really clean body. And I don't know if I really want to mess with that. It really depends. Because if the paint is like super faded and kind of like the clear coat, if there even is a clear coat, was chipping off, like maybe that's something. Purchasing it for you, but it's a hill climb. You were like set on this hill climb car thing. So I will be honest. The only thing I've ever raced in my life is a go-kart. I know. Surprising. Yes. I've not done anything bigger than a go-kart. And so I think doing this X and taking it to a track when we're all done would be awesome. Really awesome because, I'm here in Houston and it's a really big city. I think there are 2 tracks, maybe just 1, but I think there's 2. But I know there's one on the south side of town that we used for Fiat Freakout, and that'd be really cool to do it there and see how it does, which would be really fun. So that's, again, something for the future of the channel and what we're working on. So I don't know. I have to see it. We're probably like realistic timeline, probably like a month away from going to pick up that X. And when we go pick it up, we've got to record the content, and we've got to make the video, and we've got to post it. But again, I do my best to do everything, new video every Friday at 6 for you guys to keep it coming and content moving along. But it just depends. I really want to see the body, and I think I'd want to see the paint bad enough to stop at one of those, what do you call it, like your DIY car wash place, and pop in some quarters and see what we can get out of the paint. I don't know. I want to buff it too. But so anyway, lots of talking. Let's start giving some stuff away. How about that? All right. So I've got stuff to give away. So I've got plenty of these drink sleeves, which are handy in the garage. So when you're drinking your Dr. Pepper or your Sprite or your Monster or whatever cold beverage you enjoy, these are great for having around the garage. And I still got a few of the shirts left. I don't think I have any 2X left. I think all I've got is XL and large and a couple medium. Because I sold a couple at the Vic Auto open house. So anyway, I see right now there are six people in the stream at this moment. So the 6 of you, I'm going to type it here in the chat. So I put my contact, my email. So the 6 of you that are in the stream right now that made the effort to come out and hang out and stuck it out for, here we are going on 45 minutes. I appreciate you so much. And just so to show my appreciation, I'm going to throw in a drink sleeve, and I'll give you a shirt for hanging out with me during the live stream while we celebrate these 2,000 subscribers. So make sure you send me an email with the shirt size you have and just an address, and I will send all 6 of you a pack. And I think I've got some stickers. Let me see. I got some Cooper, you're late. You are definitely late, sir. It's all right. Better late than never. All right, so I'm going to make it 7. Since Cooper showed up late, but he's still here, I'm going to make it 7. So, Cooper, you might have just missed it. But so I've got stickers, drink sleeves, and shirts. So all 7 of you. So, Cooper, I put it my email, garagetimetv@gmail, in the chat. So I will throw in a sticker, a drink sleeve, and a hat to all 7 of you that are here that made the effort to come out and hang out with me. I appreciate it. So send me an email, garagetimetv@gmail.com, and I will send all 7 of you a pack like that with a drink sleeve, a shirt, and the stickers. So thank you guys for hanging out. I really, really do appreciate it. So make sure you guys send me that email so I can start sending those out. And I need to know like before Monday. That way I can drop them off at the post office and get them out to you guys. And I'll reply to your email with like a tracking number for you and all that stuff through the post office that they give you. So anyway, send me that email. So Cooper, I'm glad you joined us because, again, there's maybe been a couple other people that joined in that haven't said anything yet. But great new projects coming to the channel. We're starting to get ready to wrap up the bus. There's one thing. We've got the new project. We've got the merchandise website live in the description where you get different kinds of merchandise, hats and drinks and cups and shirts and hoodies and all sorts of good stuff. So make sure you check that out. And as we wrap up the bus, then we've got the new project and memberships. So we've got I told you I've got a brain of an 80-year-old. So the membership levels are going to be going live as well. All right, Rogue, I'll take a look at that picture. Thank you. I might see it here, maybe. Might pop up in my thing here. So those are the great things coming to the channel as we are growing here. Man, everybody's joining late. All you slackers showing up late. It's all right. Better late. All right, Luke. Since we're coming in a little late, I'll have the grace. I'll give you the grace. Lots of great things coming to the channel. I know the guys have been hanging out this whole time. Oh, Fiat on the Dragon page. Okay, I'm part of that group, so I'll look at that. So a lot of great things. And I know these guys that have been hanging out here since the beginning are going to get tired of hearing the same thing, and I apologize, but I want to make sure everybody knows. New project car is coming to the channel. Our merchandise website is live, so it's in the description down below where you can get some shirts and hats and koozies and all sorts of good stuff. I think they even have phone cases, all sorts of good stuff are on the merchandise website. And membership levels, we have 3 different membership levels to give you different behind-the-scenes access all the way to private videos, to exclusive comments and things like that. So those are also available on, after the stream, those will go live, those membership levels, if those are interested, or if you are interested in those. So the new project coming to the channel is going to be an 87 X19. It is a Bertoni X19. It has been sitting in a shed for the past 5 to 7 years. And as far as I know, the engine is locked up, but it comes with a second engine. So I think we will be doing a in-depth rebuild of, the sun is killing me here. There we go. John, thank you for sending the email. I appreciate that. I'll get that out to you. The X19 has a seized up engine. And so I think what we'll do is a seized up one is we'll do a diagnosis. So we'll strip it down as far as we have to, but I think it'd be really cool to strip it all the way down to the block, get the block machined, and do a complete engine build, step by step, following the X19. John, thank you for sending me a picture of your project. I appreciate it. If you guys have pictures of your projects, please do that. We also have, I am all over the place. We also have a group on Facebook, a Garage Time TV group. So if you guys are working on your car, you can share your picture, you can comment on stuff. So make sure you join that group. I think it's only up to 35 people right now, but join that group where you're starting to get that more and more active and grow that group so we can all chat. And I reply to people in there and I share pictures, all sorts of stuff in there. So make sure you join that. But I think it'd be really cool to do, back to the X19, a complete engine rebuild for the X19 from the ground up, get the block machined, get it back from the machine shop, and see if we can get, the sun is just not being nice, and see if we can get step by step with the manual all the way from block up, meaning the crank to the connecting rods. And I think it'd be really cool just to have that kind of content out there. All right, I'll scoot back. It's all blurry. There we go. So I think it'd be really cool is just to do a build from the from beginning to end stages and see if we can get it fired up on like an engine stand or something like that. So that's also coming to the channel. So lots of great things. You have a 78 Oldsmobile Tornado. Wow. And you just pulled the engine out of that thing? I can only imagine how big that thing is. It's probably a V8. Probably what came in it. Automatic. Maybe a 3-speed automatic, maybe? Very cool. Very cool. I like the older Oldsmobiles and Pontiacs. I feel like they had, especially Buicks, they had a lot of style. A lot of style. Just the land yachts. 3-speed. Am I good or am I good? Or I just watch too much car stuff. That's also a real possibility. So, but anyway, that's what's coming on the channel. A lot of good stuff. Lots of exclusive content to the membership levels, from pictures to exclusive videos and things like that. So make sure you guys check those out. It will be going live after the stream here. What else? What else? We're coming down to our last about 10 minutes or so, and I'm glad all of you are coming in and hanging out with me. Never too much car stuff. Yeah, I'm going to have to agree. My wife will tell you the other ways. And there is such a thing as too much car stuff, but hey, it's what makes us happy, and that's what matters. Also, the 124 is for sale. I kind of posted that on our social media. It's still available for sale, listed there. It's still on Facebook Marketplace. A little bit of interest, but not a whole lot of serious people quite yet. Question about the 124, how reliable is it? Well, you know, some people say, fix it again, Tony, right? That's like the running joke. How much are you asking? I have it listed for $99.95, so just under $10,000 is what I have it listed for. Only about 1,600 miles on it. I take it out on the weekends still a great car. Runs great, and again, it is still listed. So, but the 124, it's a car you just have to maintain. And so if you take care of it, it'll take care of you. So there's a lot of these cars that are still with the original owners that you just have to maintain them. It's just like any other, something that you care about, you maintain it, it'll last. It's not like, I don't know, like a small block Chevy that you can just, or an LS that you can just beat the snot out of and it's going to do just fine. I mean, you can push these. I mean, these were rally cars, but they were one of Fiat's longest running produced cars. And so that has to say something, right? So if it didn't last very long, then the reliability probably wasn't there. But I've had people message me on this wanting to make this their daily driver. And there's a few people, even in the chat, that make their 124 their daily. And it's just being on top of the maintenance. Make sure you're changing the oil. Make sure you examine your timing belt once in a while. Make sure you're checking all the fluids, stuff like that. I'm looking to get one that I can take care of, but also take across the state. I live in Boise, Idaho. I'm looking for a 450-ish model trip ready car. Okay, so Luke, I just did this. I just took this car 450 miles, 472, I think, to be specific, to Dallas and back from where I live. And so went up to Dallas to the Vic Auto open house. We actually did an on-the-spot live stream there as well. And we drove it back. And that was in a 3-day turnaround. And it was just fine. We didn't have any overheating issues. We didn't have any stalling issues. We did fantastic. My wife, of course, would rather have air conditioning when driving 450 miles, not just the vent windows. So she took her car and just kind of followed me just in case. But it was fantastic. Took it up to Dallas and stayed right within temp. Good pressure. The gauges are notoriously not super accurate, so take that with a grain of salt. But I never had the oil pressure light come on, never had the alternator die on me. And with all these Vic Auto upgrades, with the cams and the pistons and all the new rings and the machining of the block, and everything is so meticulous on it that it did super well on the trip. And I was super happy with it. And initially, any older car, you're kind of nervous for the kind of a road trip. But once we hit the highway and I rocked it right into 5th gear and just kind of sat and cruised with it, it loved it. Absolutely loved it. And the best part is the steering wheel stayed straight. It didn't have to do this and correct it and this and correct it. So the alignment was really good, and that made a huge difference for enjoyable. But I rode with the top up the whole time. I didn't really want to get sunburned. But I just cracked those vent windows and kept the side windows just cracked a little bit. And I kicked out the vent windows, and I didn't sweat at all. And this was about a month ago, and it was probably like 80 degrees. So with the wind coming in fresh, I just had a little Bluetooth speaker going. It was great, absolutely great. I really enjoyed it, and of course, brand new tires are on it. The tires were put on right before that trip, so I think they've got maybe 700 miles on the tires, things like that. So encouraging to see how bulletproof and reliable the 124 is after all the work. Can't wait to get mine to that point. Almost there, yes. The number one thing is be patient too. Don't rush it, because when you rush some stuff, you kind of overlook things. Ask me how I know. Hence, I had to build this engine twice, so I know about rushing. So to take your time and do your research, and the shop manual will go a long, long way. Now, it doesn't tell you every little detail, but a shop manual was the best investment I made when building this car, was to have something I could just turn around to, flip the page, look at it, and do it. Even when Jesse came over and we did that automatic transmission swap, we had the shop manual, because the shop manual covers the automatic version of that car as well, and we were able to use it to set up our linkage, to know what the shift pattern of it was, to know the orientation of what end of the linkage goes where. So it was really handy and the best investment. So when I get this X19 in as well, I'm going to get the shop manual for that as well, from Fiat, and make sure I have that at hand the whole time as well. Follow up, how much do you estimate someone would spend on one to get in the type of condition yours is in? I'm a high school student, so definitely can't break the bank. So congratulations on starting early, being in high school. I wish I would have started as early as you were. I've only been doing this for like 5-6 years working on cars. I really wish I would have known this is something I enjoyed a long time ago. So congrats to you on knowing what you want early. There's a lot of upgrades to this as far as performance, but if you wanted to keep it stock, it depends on where your starting point is too. I'd hate to throw out a number and be completely off base, but mine was rotting in the back of a guy's house, and the tree line and the floors were gone, and the interior was basically non-existent. The trunk lid was missing. It didn't have any back tires on it, like the wheels and rims were missing completely. The engine was under a tarp with the head removed. I mean, all of the red flags that tell you don't buy a car, I just, did one of those and bought it anyway. And that's what's come to this point. So I had to do a lot of work to get to this point as far as machining and stuff like that. Now, if you've got one that's got the engine in it and it runs, and you're buying an already room and it already runs, it's a lot easier to get to this point to an already running and semi-driving car. Let's assume my future car is in the same condition as yours was in. So I'd get the mods like I did. So if you were to go from my starting point, so basically you want to know how much it cost me to go from the day I got it to this. I don't have that itemized out, and I probably should, just for reference for moments like this. I actually know. But if I was to tally it all up, I got all the parts from Vix, and so that made it really easy to find. Nick, you said he puts $1 billion, a labor of love. Amen to that. 6K to mine. It was parked since 2013 after a wreck, ripped the front bumper off. Yeah, so yeah, JC is right. Time is money. Maybe it's 7,000. I think that's what Nick is on the money. So I think about 7,000, and doing all the work myself just to get the block machined. I didn't get the head planed or anything either. Just the top of the block got decked. To flatten that out, I didn't get the head ported and polished, and I didn't do that even. And I think it cost me about $400, $450, somewhere like that. It's been a while to get just the block like hot tanked and machined and cleaned out and ready to be built. So then you have to add in the new pistons. You've got to get rings. You've got the new camshafts that I put in. You got the pulleys. I mean, I got the fancy pulleys. You can use the stock pulleys. There's nothing wrong with that. I just like the red to match the red on the interior and detail stuff. Then the wheels. The wheels are about another $500. Yeah, so I think about 7,000, maybe 7.5 to be conservative to get to this point. And it took me about a year, right about a year to get to that point. So it's really how far you want to go. Do you want to get it up to performance with the aluminum radiator and all this great stuff, or do you just want to go back to the stock style? Now, there's nothing wrong with a stock 124. It runs just fine. You maintain it just like any other one, and it'll do the job for you. You can drive it. Now, mine will get up to 6,000-7,000 RPMs in no time, and you'll know, especially with that full stainless exhaust. That's the other thing. The full stainless exhaust from headers to tailpipe, I think is about $1,000, and that's a big chunk of it is just the exhaust, not getting it running or anything like that. So it's if you wanted to go full stainless, that big full stainless exhaust, which I love to death. It is loud. People know you're coming, but when you're in a super small car, you need to be heard. I did do a few upgrades: cam wheels, full Vic exhaust, wheels, tires, carb, the intake. Yeah. So again, it really depends how far you want to go on your build. Now, mine is priced at $10,000, ready to go turnkey. And some people would rather have turnkey and do a little bit of stuff here and there just to maintain it, and that's where this car is at. But I think part of the fun too is also building it and challenging yourself to do more and to be better. So that's long runaround story to answer your question. That's about where I spent on it. A good estimate: parts are relatively affordable and available. That is true. Fix makes it super easy. The fact that these cars are so easy to work on is a huge factor. Saving labor costs is huge and fun. Absolutely. So Alex nailed it on the head. The parts are actually really affordable when you think about even a modern car. So like if I was, my wife has a Honda Pilot, a new 2021 Honda Pilot. If I wanted to go buy an alternator because hers like went out and I had to replace it, one, that would suck to do. But because it's so compact and everything's computer run and you have to take stuff apart and all that good stuff. And so I think just an alternator for her car is like $200, $225. But an alternator from Vic's for this one, I think is like $80. And you don't have to deal with a core either. So the hard thing is that I don't have money. I looked into an MG2, but not relevant for practicality. So again, if money is an issue, you're going to be held back by that because you're not going to be able to get everything at once. Now, granted, when I built this car, I didn't have everything at once either. So it'll take time. I mean, it took me a year, and that was with me doing something every day. And that's the key, is if you do something on it every day. It doesn't have to be anything big. Maybe you replace the hand cranks. Maybe you were able to just build the bottom end. Maybe you're able to put the crankshaft in and put the connecting rods on. Little stuff like that, and then save up for a little bit and add some more. That's why some people work on a car for a couple of years, because you've got to save up and you have other obligations, which I totally get. Being high school is a challenge, but it's also how badly do you want it. There's stuff that I wanted when I was high school, which now I look back, I was like, wow, why did I want that? But it's also how bad you want to do it. There's a lot of stuff that you can do out there to make side money to help pay for the parts. Yard work is a big one, stuff like that. One thing I did is I built play sets for kids. Like those like tree frog tree houses. A lot of them are a 2-man job, but most of the time you can do it as one, and it would take a full day. I mean, it was like a 10-hour day building these play sets for kids, but I charged $40 an hour to build these, and it would take me 10, 12 hours, and I would start at sunrise, and there's a lot of times I'd finish at sunset or right as it's getting dark, and I have to finish with a headlamp. But I'll get it done in 12 hours. But if you take that $40 times 12 hours, you're looking at almost $500 in a day. And that's $500 goes a long way on a car like these when you have places like Vic's that have parts hugely available for way cheaper than even a modern car. So that's kind of something that I did to help pay for some parts. I just spent a Saturday and went and built a playset or two and raised some funds that way. Anybody wants OEM classic parts, they're looking at cars. We fab the Hocon car and replace everything you want out of the shop. Hey, there you go, Luke. I would get with Rogue about parts and see what he's got for what kind of car. I don't know if you have your car yet or if you're just looking to buy one, but there's some parts for you right there. That's the other good thing, is we did that automatic transmission swap, and all of the parts, minus like the water pump and gaskets and all that stuff, he paid for all those. But the transmission, the drive shaft, the flex plate, the torque converter were all donated by the local Fiat group here in Houston. And so it's stuff like that that keeps these cars on the road. So make sure you find a local Fiat group to join, and that'll go a long way. Also made the decision to rebuild versus buy new / rebuilt. For example, calipers. Rebuilt kits are a couple dollars. Exactly. That's a really good point. Is if you wanted to buy all new calipers for your brakes, you're going to spend a couple $100 just because that's how much they are. But a rebuild kit, I think, is like $7 or $10 for a complete rebuild kit to refab your old ones. So that's something to look into as well. Don't have a car yet, but I'd like to trade my olds for a new project with about 6K once I rebuild the transmission. Well, there you go. So if you've got one car that you can sell, and for $6,000 you could buy a 124 that's already done. For the At least from what I've seen, there are some that are just completely bone stock. May need some adjustment, going for $4,000 to $4,500 to $6,000 in that range. You could even work it down to $5,000, and then you have $1,000 left over for some upgrades. One thing you could do is like an easier upgrade would be camshafts. Camshafts are pretty easy to do, especially because they're overhead cam, and you would see a little bit of performance, but you don't really see a whole lot of performance until you get a higher compression to take advantage of those camshafts. So it's kind of a balance between those two. Save some more. I know where you can get one for just under 10K. Yeah. So Luke, if you sell your Oldsmobile for 10K, you can get mine for 10. But yeah, this is the sale of this car is going to fund all of the parts, and I've already purchased the X19 that's coming to the channel. So if you guys are just joining, we are getting an 87 X19 for the next project once we finish also the bus here, which is going to be in the next like 4 to 6 weeks. Then we will have all the funds from this to build the X19. And that's part of why doing all this is great, because I can sell one car to fund the build of the next one and save the next one. So when I listed this car, a lot of people were like, whoa, why are you selling it? You did so much work to it. Why sell it? Well, because of cars like this one. That X19 that I showed you guys earlier in the stream, there's more that need to be saved. And so this one is ready to go, turnkey for someone that's going to enjoy it. And not everybody has the capability to rebuild a car from the ground up, literally, resting in the weeds and tree line of a guy's house, and get it to this point where they can just enjoy it in 1,600 miles on it. So that's why this one is saved. And now we get to jump over to the trifecta, the third Fiat of different model, same brand, different model. But yes, that X9 will be an awesome build, Cooper. I 100% agree, especially because we have to pull the engine. So for those of you that are just joining the stream, I'll show you guys a little sneak peek at it. I showed the guys and gals in here earlier. Replace versus restore. I need to redo all my suspension and thinking of saving money by restoring the control arms. Thoughts on restoring original versus new? So that's a good question, original versus new. When it comes to, I'll show you the pictures here in a second. That's a good question. So the control arms, pressing out the bushings in the control arms is a task in itself. You've got to push them out, but you've also cannot bend your control arms, because the metal can be bent if you press too much. Now for mine, these have the Prima 1 or the Prima control arms from Vicks. They're all new. The bushings are already pressed. They're all right. And the other thing about pressing new bushings in is you can bend the metal, but it's also, you run the risk of not seating them all correctly. And then if your bushings come out, you're in a world of hurt. So I like the reassurance of ordering new ones, at least for suspension. I don't want to mess around. That's why I got their Hydrosport shocks. That's why I got their lowering springs. That's why I got new control arms, new steering linkage, the ball joints. All that is all new. I did not want to mess around with that and cause a potential accident down the road. Your dad is strict about what you bring home. Hey, well, that's what happens when you live at home still. But trust me, when you're married, she wants to know what you're bringing home too. So it doesn't ever go away. But for those of you joining, this is the X in the barn. Hopefully that'll come through clear. It is blue, and it's going to be covered in dust, just like you see it. It's been sitting in a lean-to shed type thing for the past several years, and I think you can even see some cat paw prints on it. I think it's got like a little decal on it. I can't really see, but the engine cover is off, so that tells me the engine is no bueno. But if you notice, the top on there isn't black. It's actually painted to match the blue of the car. So it's use the original blue to match, which is going to be awesome because I think only factory had black, um, black, the black tonneau tops, removable tops, and so that actually was painted to match the car, which is going to be super cool, and a pretty unique feature of the car. Do I have a name for it? No, I don't. I mean, we called the 124 Black Widow because Spider, it's black with red, a Black Widow, makes sense. But I never really like referred to that way because I feel like names need to be short and sweet. And to the hence Elsa the bus, this like icy blue that she is, reminded me of Frozen, the Disney movie, and so that's how I came up with Elsa the bus. And it's nice and short and sweet, and you kind of get to the point of how it got the name. So, but no, I've not thought of a name for the X19. So why don't you guys go ahead and drop that in the chat for a name, or in the comments if you guys are watching this recording, because this will be posted afterwards. Man, it has been an hour and 11 minutes already. Holy smokes. We are burning time. It's already starting to get dark out here. Your oldest is named Ramon, before I had him an 82 rabbit named Jojo. Barney is purple, not blue. Isabella, that's a good one. Barn find. Time does fly when you're having fun. I will say I'll be out here working on something on either one of these cars. You know, the X will be a whole other beast in itself. I'm really hoping I can put a battery in it and fire up. How sweet would that be? But when you're out here working on something, you don't realize like how long it takes you to work on it. Example is I just got done putting the carpet. That's going to be the next coming video on the bus. Is putting the carpet in the back, like the back area above the engine compartment and over the wheel wells and over the seats, the seat wheel wells. And so that's going to be this coming up episode. And that took a long time, but it's because you're cutting and gluing and padding and all sorts of mess. And you realize like 3 or 4 hours is gone. You're like, wow, where'd my day go? Time and risk is money. Yes. It's also knowledge too. I mean, this was my second 124 I've built. I have the 1850, the 124. This is the second 124. So going into this, I had a lot more experience of like knowing what to look for and knew what was a red flag and knew how everything worked together. So that made this process go along a lot faster. My first 124, the 78, Fiona, the green one, I sold that one. But this one, I got it done like a year. But the green one took me, I think, a year and a half or 2 years from trial and error and saving money and stuff like that. So it didn't happen as fast. But I knew, especially with working with Vix, I was like, hey, this is what I'm experiencing. This is what I need. They'd be like, oh, we got that. Boom, done. The prime example is that shim tool. Actually, let me grab that because I didn't know this was like so unknown. But the valve shim tool is a thing. And I guess people didn't know that's how you change out the shims is with this fork thing. Let me grab it. Is this. So when you replace the shims for your valves, for your cam, because I had the upgraded cams, I had to switch out the valve shims to make up for it. I had to put a top hat on my valve. And so you hook this around the cam, push this down the bucket, and you can take the shim out, put a new shim in, and move this out. And there you go. You can measure it with your feeler gauge. I guess I don't know how people do it without this thing because it's even got the grooves for the bucket and everything. This is, as Rogue TS1 says, well worth the money. You will put on the cam box, take off the cam box, put it on, put it off, put it on, put it off to measure this, and it's brutal, absolutely brutal. I don't know how you change out shims without this. And Vix has this, and I asked Matt at the open house. I asked him, I was like, hey, you know, how have things been going here? Like, is there anything that's like selling super crazy? He said, yeah, actually, and it's this valve shim tool. And I said, why is that so popular all of a sudden? He says, I've been selling these for years, but all of a sudden they're super popular, and it's because I had used it in my valve shim. I think we did our evaluation, our 1,000-mile checkup on this, and we had to replace one of the valve shims because everything had kind of heated up a few heat cycles, and we were just barely out of spec on one of our shims, and I cracked this thing out. And he said, yeah, you'd just be surprised, like, people didn't know that that's actually a thing. So valve shim tool, definitely worth it. Invest in one if you're building yours or tuning up yours and your valve shims need to be replaced. So anyway, ranting on that. Whew. Should be getting royalties. I don't know about royalties. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's really cool to like be able to call up Matt on his personal, be like, hey, this is what issue I'm having. Do you have something for this? Yeah, no problem. I've got it, and I can get my stuff solved really quickly. That's a huge perk. So just being able to use the tool and say, hey, this is where I got it, and then get that kind of service is worth it in my opinion, especially as we're moving out of this X. So I think we are getting close to wrapping up here. So if you guys have any other questions, we'll go for another, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. We'll see how it goes here on the stream. But we'll start winding down here. Just a couple things. Just want to remind you guys, especially those of you that kind of showed up later, the new merchandise website is live. It's in the description of this stream. We've got our 2 logos out right now. The red and black, like this, is one of the designs. And then the pure white logo, like this, is the other. Those are the 2 I have out right now. And I will be periodically coming out with new designs. Thought about a different kind of logo for Garage Time TV, maybe like a TV and something else on it. That'd be kind of cool. What else? I thought about making shirts for like the 124. That'd be kind of cool. Or shirts for the 850 for those of you that have been watching the channel that long, which I am super thankful for. Or maybe even the X19 as we're starting to get into the X19 project. Make shirts for those, just stuff like that. If you guys have a certain idea for a shirt or a design or anything like that, I'm always open to that kind of thing. I am not the most creative person in the world. My wife will tell you that. But if you have design ideas or you want to see a sticker or you want to see something else, like, hey, we really want a bus shirt, something, send me an email, drop it in the comments, send me a message on Instagram, stuff like that. I'd love to do that for you guys so you guys can get the stuff that you want. And the proceeds of those go to help us get parts for especially the X19 project that's coming. So if you guys have ideas, definitely drop them in there for me. A 124 shirt. Okay, I can work on that. I'll maybe like a kind of black and white or like a motion one. There might be a design that I know of that I might be able to use. So I'd have to figure it out because I don't own the design. So I'd have to see. Do some tool videos for these cars. Specialized tools that people don't know about would be helpful. Probably blackletter. That's a good idea. Definitely tool like this one. It's supposed to be commonly known, but I guess not. That'd be kind of cool. We want to know how you get to the grease off your t-shirts. You look like us after working on your car, greased up all the sleeves and back. So there is a secret to making all the shirts not greasy. It's keeping 2 out of the garage. So I've got, I think, 6 of this one design. So when I first started making shirts, I wanted these. These are like dry fit material, and there's dry fit type shirts and polos and stuff too on the shirt site, the merchandise site. But I wanted these dry fit, so when I do the episodes, I've got the logo in the episodes. And so I ordered like 6 or 8 of them. And so 2 of them I keep out of the garage. So only for stuff like live streams, so I look like a half decent human being. Or when we go to like the Vic Auto open house for the past 2 years, I've brought these that are like cleaner. But I also have a couple of these that are speckled with holes. The back is brown because of all the dirt on the ground that we roll around on our back. So don't let it fool with you. That's what I'm saying. I've got a couple of these, and so I keep some good ones. And I've got some that are like huge holes, and it's horrible. And those are like from grinding and from the welding and stuff like that. The splatter comes off and tears up the shirts. So I keep a couple good ones. A graphic with a missing 10 millimeter? Yes. Or a 10, a 13, a 17, a 19. The 4 sizes that will help you build a Fiat. If it's on a Fiat, it's probably one of those 4 sizes. Or an 8. An 8. Maybe that's what I need to do. I'll just make a bunch of sockets on a shirt, 8, 10, 13, 17, 19. How to build a Fiat. That's a good idea. Work shirt and work pants. Yes. I have shorts as well, like my basketball shorts. I've got like 4 or 5 pairs of basketball shorts that are just garage. And I've got some that are like actual cloth shorts that are a little bit different, and they get holes in them. And I get black and gray on purpose so I don't look like a hot mess. So I actually look decent. Excellent editing. Thank you. I appreciate that. If you go back to the very beginning of the channel when I used like an actual like old point and shoot kind of camera, and now I'm up to a GoPro. But it's part of growing and part of the subscribers and getting to this 2,000 point is why I'm able to get stuff like that and make the editing better and shoot clearer photos and videos. So I thank you guys for, again, huge thank you to all you guys subscribing. The whole reason we're here live today. So the whole reason we're here was a channel today. So thank you. And so it's come a long way. I used to use that point and shoot and the free editing software that was on Microsoft, like Photo. It was like the free version, and there's like 3 ways to edit something, and that was it. And my intro was totally different back then, and all sorts of stuff. And as we moved along, I've been able to upgrade to different things and do better editing. And that all goes back to you guys subscribing to the channel and supporting what I do and getting shirts and becoming part of this new member program now we have. Getting that exclusive access to different kinds of content that's going to be going live after the stream. So I really do appreciate it. That's how we've been able to get better and better and move up and make things happen. 124 Spider, drive it like you built it. I like that. Actually, I like that a lot. Or drive it like your life depends on it. Or held together with zip ties and dreams, or something like that. That'd be pretty funny. The cut-ins and little bells and whistles that I did aren't great in later videos. Thank you, Alex. I really appreciate that. The extra little bits of like the little clips of shows or whatever does add a lot of extra editing. And so it's not the easiest, but it does take extra time. But I'm glad it's something that you guys are appreciating, because it's not something that I really thought worked very well. So waving to my neighbor guy. So I'm glad it's something that you guys are enjoying. All right, so I think we are going to wrap it up here. We are coming down to the end, and it is getting darker, and it is hot out here, and my little battery power fan over here on the floor has died. So if you've got any last-minute questions or any comments or anything like that, shirt ideas, name for the X19, put it in there. If you guys are watching the stream after the fact, you can put it in the comments down below. Again, thank you guys so much for joining. Those of you that were here earlier, make sure you guys send me that email. I want to make sure I get you your stuff. For the giveaway. Check out the website for the shirts and stuff. If you guys do end up buying something off the site, I'd love to see you wearing it. I'd love to say, hey, I'm here wherever doing, looking, I'm wearing my hat, wearing my shirt. I have my hoodie around the house. Hey, I'm watching a video and I'm wearing the shirt, whatever. I love seeing that stuff. I've had people all over the world message me stuff with the shirts and stickers and on their toolboxes and all sorts of good stuff. So please share that with me. That means a whole lot to me. When you send me those emails with those kinds of things, and the positive comments that really, really help me out. Oftentimes, the only stuff you see are like the negative ones, because they're the only ones that make an effort. So all the positivity really, really does help, and I really do appreciate it. So I think we're going to sign off. Thank you guys so much for watching. Oh, perfect timing. People are starting to cut the grass. So have a great night, everybody, before the yard people start taking over. Y'all have a good night, and look forward to the next episode. Check out the website. Be ready for the new project and sign up for memberships. They're going to go live right after the stream. We'll see y'all later.